Greetings viewers, Sketchy here. Here with another Back from the Movies vlog. I just went to go see the Lorax, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. And I've actually seen a lot of movies lately, and I've been meaning to do this for quite some time, but what better time than the present. So yeah, the Lorax, let's just get right into this. I was actually pretty down about going to see this. Dr. Seuss movies are pretty hit and miss when it comes down to cinema. The Cat in the Hat was a really odd movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, call it a guilty pleasure if you will, but no one can doubt that it's a pretty ugly movie. It just didn't have the magic as the cartoon. The Lorax is much more in the animation style as the Horton movie, which I haven't seen yet. I've been meaning to see that one for a while. But, the Lorax. I was pretty much not wanting to see this movie because of the fact that it's by the people that did Despicable Me. And I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail for this, but I was not a fan of Despicable Me, like, at all. The thing about Despicable Me is, it was so predictable, and the humor that it had was just not funny. The characters were dull. The only thing I liked about it was the minions, because they actually had a originality to them unlike anything else. It was just really, really so mediocre. I felt like I'd seen this scenario so many times, so Despicable Me really hit a bad note. So I was not really looking forward to seeing the Lorax by the same people. But I was pleasantly surprised by the Lorax, actually. The thing is, I actually went into this not thinking it would be a musical. So when they slapped me in the face immediately with a song sequence, which was, granted, really, really catchy. In fact, all the songs, more or less, in the Lorax are pretty damn catchy. There are lots of faults with it, but I'll get into it. But the story is pretty essential. It's a story told within a story, which is always kind of unique this time and day. But there's this little boy, played by Zac Efron, that caught me off guard, is trying to impress this girl that he has a crush on, probably a couple years older than him, because they live in this world made of plastic. And she's never seen a real tree before in her life, and that's the one thing she wants. By the way, there's gonna be spoilers. So this boy finds out that there's this person who's called the Lone Sir, something like that. We'll call it the Lone Sir because it's probably a more different name than that. And there's this guy called the Lone Sir who will give this boy the key to finding the last trees in the world. So this boy is trying to escape this plastic village that he lives in, and they go and find the Lone Sir. So when he finally meets the Lone Sir, the story turns into a story within a story, because the Lone Sir is telling the boy the story of the Lorax. And the Lone Sir is, I keep saying the Lone Sir, and I know that's not right. He tells a story about how he is the reason that no more trees exist. How he's gone off cutting all the trees down, all the animals had to leave town, and he has the one seed left in the world that will plant the last tree. That's pretty much the story, right there. And the story within the story kind of is my biggest problem. It really follows Despicable Me's steps in a way. It's obvious they're trying to recreate the Minion characters using fish in the Lorax. The Lorax has these side characters that are fish and bears and birds. And they are the comic relief. I keep getting messages. They are the comic relief. And they even kind of had the Minions' voices now that I think about it. And it's pretty much a copy and paste of what the Minions were, just they're fish now. Not that there's a problem with that, really. If these creators know how to do anything, it is definitely they know how to show emotion. I was legitimately, kind of sad whenever the trees started falling down and everything. Because the emotion that they can show on characters nowadays is just so amazing. I keep saying a lot, I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I've been gone for 11 hours today, and I probably haven't slept in 24 hours. But, I'm off topic. I'm trying to think of what else I can say, really, because it's a really simple concept of a movie. And it's good, considering the source material, and that it's directed precisely to kids, obviously. But there's actually a lot of stuff to enjoy if you are a teen to an adult, as well. Some of the humor is, none of the humor is bad. But it made me laugh a couple times. It made me chuckle. The songs are all very catchy. If I was to have a problem with it, it's kind of how it's told. Let me see if I can do this without sounding like a complete jerk. It's obviously a movie that is set up to make kids know about the environment and how man is bad. I'm not sure how else I would have told the story, but there are ways to get environmental messages across without slamming it down your throat. I mean, this really makes man sound like a terrible human, and we are. We are a humongously flawed species. And yes, we've turned thousands of animals to their doom and death. And I'm not sure how else I could have done this to give it a lighter note. So I guess I can't fault it for not being able to do it better myself. But it was just one of those things, the environmental message just slammed down your throat so hard. And I'm not sure how else I would have done that. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying you really felt guilty kind of watching it. I mean, at times, it is a really nasty film. And now when I say that, I don't mean the film is like ugly or smudgy or anything. I'm just saying there's some, not dark imagery, but dark thoughts that are put into the concept of how they show man is killing nature. And not that there's a problem with that. I just wish it had been a little bit more lighthearted. Maybe it's a kid's film. I mean, it's a kid's film. But, yeah. I'm not sure how else I would have done that. But it was really, really odd. And kind of unknown, unseen of. I mean, Pixar has hit some pretty dark places. I'm trying to think of what the company that does this is. It's not DreamWorks, it's not Pixar, it's not Blue Sky, but they were able to do it. And it touched upon a really harsh and mature level of man destroying nature. And yeah, the bottom line, I don't want this video to be too long, but bottom line, the Lorax was actually really enjoyable. I actually went out pleasantly surprised. Not really any of the characters were flawed. The main villain, probably the weakest link, actually. Just because his motivation didn't make a whole lot of sense. It's one of the main parts of the story, which, kind of is. The reason that this world is made out of plastic is he's trying to make air not free by killing all the trees. So air's in a bottle, and you have to buy the bottle of air to survive. His motives for killing all the trees, if there's no more trees, how does he get the air in the first place? Nitpicking. But, yeah. The Lorax was actually not bad. If I was to rate it, for kids, probably a high 8. For teenagers are going to be probably kind of bored with it. I'm 20 years old, almost 21, and I had a good time with it. But something tells me they're just not going to pick up on the environmental message at that age, because they don't care. But, yeah, the Lorax was actually pretty cool. Do I recommend it? I say go watch it. possibly wait for it to come out on DVD. The 3D for it was actually pretty good. 3D in general usually just gives me a headache, and I usually can't do 3D. But it was actually pretty good 3D, actually, and I was pleasantly surprised with the 3D. So, check out the Lorax. It's one of the top 2 best Dr. Seuss movies that I've seen. So, yeah, that's my 3 cents on the Lorax, and I hope you enjoyed my opinion of it. So, talk to you later. Bye.